Morning to you once again. It is still good morning, Anambra, and a very rainy morning. Hope you're already out of your house. Head into your office, otherwise you don't have any reason. Rain cannot stop anybody. My name is Sijama, and I'm still here with Dave Opmokwastele.
Welcome.
Okay, this is our discussion segment, and what do we have for you this morning? Legislative agenda for 7th Anambra State Assembly. That's exactly what we're going to look at this morning. And we already have our guest in the house, the newest bride in the state. And he is Honorable Uche Okafor, the Speaker, Anambra State House of Assembly. We welcome you to our studios this morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You are looking very good and ready.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready to go.
Ready to go. Ready to go.
We are all waiting.
Cheers.
Okay, before we go on, let me quickly, on behalf of the board, management, and staff of the Anambra Broadcasting Service, congratulate you on your new position.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, let's watch a little clip now before we come back.
Right Honorable Okafor, while giving assurance that the 7th Assembly will meet the expectations of the people by surpassing the achievements of the 6th Assembly, thanked his colleagues for exhibiting patriotism and maturity by electing him as the Speaker of the 7th Assembly. Mr. Okafor stated that the House under his watch shall justify the confidence reposed in him by partnering the judiciary and executive arm of government in moving the state forward. He commended Governor Willie Obiano for remaining steadfast in enthroning and sustaining good governance in the state.
I thank my distinguished colleagues for the confidence reposed in me by electing me the Speaker of the 7th State Assembly. And I promise to carry everybody along and to respect individual potentials of the lawmakers towards enthroning a formidable legislation. May this Salon Chamber continue to offer the best legislative services to Anambra, and may the future generations of the state look upon the 7th Assembly as a true assembly of the people's representatives who did their best in the service of our dear state.
The 7th State House of Assembly was inaugurated.
Yeah, that's the new Speaker of the Anambra State House of Assembly, who is seated right here with us. Well, congratulations once again, Mr. Speaker, who we are at your swearing in on Wednesday, and it was quite a crowd. Have you been able to take all in?
It's quite overwhelming, you know. It's amazing, I must say. Since Wednesday till now, you know, it's just gradually sinking in. You know, that I'm the Speaker of the House of Assembly. You know, it's quite difficult, you know, for one to change his lifestyle, you know, with all the paraphernalia that comes to the office, you know. But it's gradually going in, you know, and I appreciate God and my colleagues who have been there, very supportive since that Wednesday, always calling, visiting, you know, to make sure that everything is going on well. So, and yeah, I will say thank you to Anambra also, you know, for the trust they, you know, reposed on us, the legislators, you know, by electing us in. 7th Assembly is obviously going to be the best assemblies we've had, you know. Thank God you guys were there. There we have, you know, a bunch of professionals, you know, in different fields, you know, lawyers, doctors, pharmacists, you know, political scientists, you know, wonderful, you know, men and ladies, you know, with a diverse, you know, educational background. So what that simply means is that we are on point, you know, and we're ready to hit the ground running, you know, for 7th Assembly. And
you have that massive support.
Oh, sure.
All right, going on, immediately after your election, the question about your zone came up, and then the All Progressive Grand Alliance put out a statement explaining why the speakership was zoned to Anambra North, alongside where the governor is coming from. So how would you ensure that going on, you engage the members of the House to become one, to unify them and ensure that the result or the reasons for the election of this House of Assembly is achieved?
Okay, first let me say that zoning is a thing of the party.
Okay.
All right? And in the House of Assembly, you know, we don't have just APUGA, we have PDP. All right? So in that case, you know, zoning didn't come in. You know, we did what we call election for the principal offices. The office of the Speaker is not selective. You don't do it by appointment, you do it by election. All right? And what we did, or what the Anambra witnessed on Wednesday, was election, for office of the Speaker. So going by that, you can see that it's by election, was a collective agreement, by both the two political parties, that constitutes
not minding your zone,
not minding my zone.
Okay.
So because if zone issue, if zone was the issue, I wouldn't think I would have been elected.
All right.
They elected me based on what they feel. We all have the capacity and the capability to do the job, because we have like 13 ranking members there. And what the House order says is for you to be a Speaker of the House of Assembly and Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly, you must be a ranking member. It didn't say anything about zone. So the office of the Speaker was purely elected.
Okay, now on how you are going to unify both the members of the APGA and PDP, and then members of the APGA especially, to ensure that the reason the House of Assembly is elected is achieved. How would you do that?
The good thing about this, one of the good things I give to the House Standing Order is that assertion that for you to be a Speaker or Deputy Speaker, you have to be a ranking member. It goes a long way to say that for you to hold such office, executive office, you must have experience. All right, and I thank God I'm a member of the 6th Assembly. So I know how the politics in the House was played.
That's exactly what I want to ask you.
Yes.
Being a member of that 6th Assembly that just ended, how will you?
And 6th Assembly, if you know very well, is an assembly that consists of 27 PDP APGA members and 3 PDP members. And lately we had 1 APC member. So we have always had that working relationship. The most important thing, the key word here is being a team player, carrying everybody along, being open, being transparent. That is the key word. Once you do that,
apart from that, how will you assess the performance of the 6th Assembly?
6th Assembly did amazingly great. I came in as a first-timer, that they normally call us, young brides. The wonderful thing about the 6th Assembly is that the ranking members took us in when we came in. They opened up to us. Gave us the platform to learn the legislative procedures, which is very, very key in what you're doing. For you to understand this business and do it very, very, very well, you need, to hang around with ranking members. It's not just solely mastering the House orders and the House rules. You need to be around them. And the then Speaker, Right Honorable Barrister Rita Maduagu, was like a mother to everybody. Making sure that she inducts, the new members into various committees that will enable them to enhance in their experience and knowledge of how the legislative business has been done. So the 6th Assembly was, amazing, and one of the people that were very close to the Speaker, to virtually all the principal officers. So that gave me an insight of what I'm going to do in this.
And in Anambra are still wondering how you people managed the alleged impeachment saga then.
You see, those are things, one of the characteristics of a legislative house. You can't take it away from us. It's there. It's there. So it will always come and go.
It's beauty of the process.
So that is part of the business.
Okay.
All right. Historically, we've seen improvements in Anambra governance due to proper relationship between the legislative arm of government and the executive. Unlike what we knew about in 2003 and 2004 era. Now, you used the word inter-arm cooperation during your inaugural speech. How do you hope to achieve this and deepen the relationship that's supposed to exist between the legislature and the executive arm of government, and still not undermining that level of oversight that the legislature must carry out on the executive?
I love that last phrase, not undermine the oversight, that the legislature. You see, the thing here is sometimes, there's always this wrong perception about oversight. People feel that oversight of the executive by the legislature is more of like policing them or, witch hunting them. That is not that, Going by the Constitution, the 3 cardinal responsibilities of a legislator is 1, lawmaking, effective representation, and oversight. Oversight is not witch hunting the government. Oversight is looking at the excesses of the executive. Let me explain this further.
Okay.
We look at the budget, all the time. And, why I say this earlier, remember when I said that to have professionals from monitoring from background, when the executive brings budget, we'll sit down, we analyze the budget, we look at it, we'll look at certain things that might be a repetition of what was, in the lesson. We go to the group, the NDA, and, where it is. And sometimes when we appropriate a certain amount to a certain department, when it's approved, the essence of oversight is to make sure that that money appropriated to that particular NDA is used for the reason why it is being appropriated for. That is the essence of oversight. Oversight is not going there, to withhold you, to summon you, to ask, just, okay, you are giving 100 million or 1 million to do this. Did you do it with 1 million? If you did not, where is the budget? Why? Why didn't you do it? We have to explain to Anambra. For one reason, the House of Assembly makes up the whole of Anambra. We are 30 members. Each of us come from a constituency. Am I right?
Yeah.
Each of us come from. So we are the eye, the ear, and the mouth of our people. So what we are there to do is to make sure that what belongs to Anambra is being done and done effectively well.
Okay.
And again, it helps the executive, the governor, because if we're not there, he is my man. He cannot be everywhere. We are the people, through our reports, we should send to him. We'll tell him, look, this thing is not done, this thing is not done, this something is lacking in this department, please try and, beef it up.
Okay.
So that's that.
So on that premises now, as the 7th Assembly begins its life, what do we expect? That's what will they have?
Yeah, there are great expectations. One, you have a house filled with vibrant, robust young men and a lady, and the expectation is so high. But what I told in the Anambra the day of the inauguration is the 7th Assembly is going to be the best ever had in Anambra State. And let me not say that it's going to be the best after, because, a son always prays for the father to be, the father prays to the son to be greater than him. But one thing I'm assuring in the Anambra on behalf of my colleagues is that we are going to set a pace, for coming leaders. You see, we are anchoring our agenda, the 7th Assembly agenda, on the basic responsibilities of a legislator, which I mentioned earlier, which are effective representation, lawmaking, and oversight. This has been ongoing, we appreciate, but the 7th Assembly is going to strengthen it. More so in this area you talked about, the executive-legislature relationship with other arms of government. The synergy has been there, but this 7th Assembly is going to strengthen that synergy, so that we understand ourselves. The three arms of government are working for the good of Anambra.
Okay, I was actually going to ask you the place of judiciary. Okay, we are coming back. Let's take a break and bring you the voices from the street. We're coming back.
Join support from the previous team. We are not expecting anything less. We're expecting continued support. We're also using this medium to wish them well as they carry out this responsibility.
Create access where people can interact with them. I think where there is a lacuna is we don't know how to meet them. We elected them, they came to solicit with us, but we don't have access to them. So when they begin to create access to the people, so that they will begin to also know what really the people in their communities really want. Otherwise, they cannot pass good bills in the house. So I think that's the expectation of the general public.
I expect them to improve more on the legislative system in Anambra State, to add more to what already on ground, and also to make sure that whatever policies they formulate is for the good of the state and also for the citizens.
I see a lot of prospects in them. They started especially on a very good note by electing an experienced young man, a firebrand man, Honorable Uchenna Okafor, as their speaker. Now, you can always judge a government by their first moves. They have already gotten that first move very right, and Honorable Pascal Abodike is also a very sound gentleman. So I expect this assembly to be the best that has been produced in Anambra State.
Good to have you back. The Anambra talking on their expectations on the new or the 7th Assembly. And the speaker, the honorable speaker, you may want to react to one or two comments coming from our people there before we continue.
Yeah, I did. It was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing. Great expectation.
Great expectations, powerful expectations.
Great expectations.
From that, you can see that people really are optimistic for something better.
Oh, sure. Let me highlight more on what the young lady said. About being close to the constituents. That is very, very important. When I talk about effective representation, as being part of the core responsibilities of a legislator, what that means is that as a legislator, you are the ear, the eye, and the mouth of your people. And for me, being from Ayamelmo, I can't perform that duty very well if I'm resident and domiciled in Oka here without getting close to my people. When I came into 6th Assembly, one of the things I did was to establish a constituency office, in my headquarters, Anago, where I visit 2 times every week. I started 2 times every week, but because of the enormous responsibilities, that comes with the office, I couldn't meet that. I started going once every week. What does that do for me? What it does for me is that my constituents know the time I'm in the constituency office. We call it constituency surgery. They come around, lay their complaint, their concern, and that gives me an opportunity to understand the yearning of my people, understand the feeling of my people, and now bring it to the government in the place of, motion or bills, Yes, and this is something I want to encourage my colleagues. I know the ranking members, all of us have constituency offices, our various constituencies, but the incoming members, so that we'll be very close to our people. Another thing that helped me that helped the 6th Assembly, in general, is this town hall meeting. The town hall meeting was great. Virtually all the members of the honorable members in the 6th Assembly had town hall meeting. The town hall meeting created an opportunity for civil society groups, stakeholders.
Right, before we continue, let's take someone who wants to join us. Okay. Hello. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from? All right, John Paul, be brief so that others can also join us.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, on that note, I want to just give you one or two advice. One is on answering proximity to the competence, making it accessible, so that you be able to know where the group is electorate moves and where the kind of bill to be attained. Not all the bills should be given attention, but all the theory that can help to alleviate the sufferings of the population is attending to where the sound is a great attention. That is the first one. The second one is legislation that will help.
Okay, yes, well, you've made your point. Thank you very much. Thank you, John Paul. Let's continue then.
All right, going on now. Last year, the Not Too Young to Run bill was passed into law, and I think you're the youngest so far in the history of Anambra State to mount that position.
So I was told.
Okay.
And I feel that someone younger will come next year.
Yes, someone younger will come. And looking at the progress already made by the governor to appoint younger people into positions of responsibility, and now you are the third man in Anambra politics and the Anambra governance. Want to ask, do you think that young people can justify these opportunities, leadership opportunities being mounted on them at this time?
Yeah, obviously, they can. And I don't see why they couldn't. You see, this issue of young or not young. If we cast our memories back, I studied political science. And political science, we call it modern history. Our forefathers, our nationalists that fought for our independence, were not as old as we are now. When they were doing that, with little or no experience. I don't know if you know where I'm coming from. Yes, and one good thing His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Anambra State did for the Anambra was coming into administration, into governance, and giving the young people the opportunity to serve, to showcase their experience and talent. and that has done amazingly great. Take for instance, we have Mark Okoye, who happens to be the youngest commissioner. Then, Mark did amazingly great, from being a special advisor to the governor on economic matter to becoming the commissioner. Then we have Bonaventure Omabeli, who is the commissioner for youth and sports. Now, elevated another commissioner position, for lands, I think so. What's his name? Mbanefo, now. Afamu Mbanefo, Commissioner for Agriculture, bank numerous of awards, best commissioner in agriculture in the whole federation. And so Obi Nwankwo has done amazingly great as a young commissioner under Madam Obiano by helping the governor's policy on Operation Light Up Anambra State to see the light of the day. And that is that.
That is it. And it will continue
that way. So I appreciate His Excellency for the opportunity given to the young people. I'm one of the proponents and supporters of young people should be given opportunity. And I have always done that in everything I do. And I thank God, as you see, at least part of us, some of us are beneficiaries of it.
Beneficiaries of that now. Let's move on. The phone lines are open. You can send your WhatsApp message through the WhatsApp number there, and then listen carefully before you ask your questions, please. Okay, moving on now. Let's look at the constituency projects.
Good.
How is there any means that the House will use to measure, to ensure that people that say that they execute constituency projects, that they really did what they claim to do?
Yeah. There are measures, in place already for that. I talk from the experience I draw from the 6th Assembly. When we came into place, which has already started now, we had what we call induction training, 3 days induction training, where we have scholars, in different areas of administration, to talk to us. And one of the topics we treated was constituency fund, constituency projects, the execution, the pros and cons, and things like that. Constituency fund is a public fund. It's not a legislator's fund. It's not our salary. Neither is it, our overhead for the running of the offices. Okay. What it is a fund designated by the government to help improve the living standard of your people. But it goes through you as you are the, the representative. Good. And in 6th Assembly, what we do, or what our colleagues do, is when this fund comes, or before the fund comes, through the town hall meeting, you likely to know what are your people's dreams, what their aspiration, what they want. Because in the town hall meeting, we should normally schedule, we have stakeholders, the government, the civil society organization, the religious body, the schools, the traditional rulers, PGs, and other people. So everybody bring what they call charter of demand. Some will tell you that we want electricity, some will tell you that we want road, some will tell you that we want pipe-borne water.
Do you go on inspection of these projects?
Sure, we do. Let me come. I'm just giving you a brief history. So when you get all these things, most of these projects are massive projects that, the legislator cannot do with the, what's it called, constituency project. So you look at the ones you can do, consult your people, tell them, this is what I can do, carrying them along, then you do that. Now, we do inspection. The inspection is normally done, by the Office of the Accountant General. We have external auditors in our state. So this is part of the checks and balances
that are placed.
The Office of the Auditor General is part of the executive. They bring this money and they check on the legislators to make sure that this
they're executed.
The fund is executed.
A very good standard.
Yes.
Because that's one of the problems we have.
Brilliant.
They do this project and then by 3-4 months the project is up.
So and with that, things have been going well. Any fund that is released to the legislators are being used and used for what it is said that it's going to be used for.
All right.
Let's see who has joined us.
Okay. Hello. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from? It seems he's listening to you're listening to yourself. We don't have time to.
I'm congratulating the speaker.
The speaker.
Thank you.
You didn't tell us your name. Can I forget Ebisi?
Wow.
Thank you. We promise you that.
It seems your line is breaking. We will not be able to continue with that. The speaker has already taken your congratulations, and he certainly knows he has several burdens on him. I want to ask this very important question. Okay. Coordination between House members and those at the federal level. How are we going to improve it? It seems as if at times they work in parallel directions. How would you ensure to coordinate between those at the State Assembly and those at the federal to ensure that the masses get those things required of government?
If you ask me if I'm being a parochial partisan, I'll tell you next election, vote Apuga all the way. But that's by the way. You see, the relationship between the legislators at the state level and the federal level is something that is very, very important. Because if such relationship is not there, sometimes it denies people of that developmental things that we do need. One of the things I have in my agenda is to have a meeting, which the 7th Assembly and the 9th Assembly, because that is the 9th Assembly at the National Assembly, especially those from the Anambra state, so that we'll sit down.
Why this one be 7 and the other one 9?
Yeah, because Anambra State is a new state. Yes, we created in 1991, and that is when our legislation started. But that one has been in existence before then. Yeah. Back to what I was saying. I intend to facilitate a meeting between the 7th Assembly of the state level and the 9th Assembly of the National Assembly, especially those from Anambra origin, so that we discuss on the working cordialities. How we're going to, because it's certain. Majority of us in the State Assembly are of Apuga origin, and some of the National Assembly members are PDP. Yes. So obviously there will be different ideologies and ideas and perspectives and stuff like that. But understanding that we both have the same cardinal responsibilities, and we both are servants, and we are all in the Anambra, and we all, whatever we are doing it for the same. If we have that common understanding, that common goal, I believe everything will go on well.
Thank you. Anybody here, Dave?
I think it's all for now.
Okay, finally, before we go, I know that this is a very big task in your hand, being the Speaker of the 7th Assembly. And I know that people in this kind of position will want to leave legacies. Yeah. Will you tell us what you want to be remembered for by the time you finish your assignment as the 7th Speaker of Anambra State House of Assembly? I want to leave a robust 7th Assembly, an assembly that is charismatic in nature, an assembly that the Anambra will be very, very proud of. An assembly that every single Anambra can say, yes, I know my legislator. I met with my legislator, and my legislator gave me a listening ears. I know it is not an easy thing to do, but I trust my colleagues, who have been very supportive from the day the election was done till date. My promise to them is, whatever, that will help all of us individually and collectively to achieve our aims. As their speaker, I'm going to make sure that I do that for them. Then that also extends to our willingly working governor, who has been quite supportive of the legislature since inception. I want to say a very big thank you to him, for being there for us, playing the role of a father, making sure that Anambra State, has a peace and conducive environment, for one to conduct their business, because that is the most important thing. If Anambra State is hostile, I don't think we'll be here by now. So we extend our appreciation and thanks to him. So the Anambra should expect a legislature that has the interests of the people at heart. All right,
and the Anambra should expect a legislature that is that has the interest of the people at heart. Sure. All right, thank you, Right Honorable Uche Okafor, the Speaker, Anambra State House of Assembly, for joining us on Good Morning Anambra.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Anambra.
You know that we'll keep working with you.
Sure. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll sign off now. We'll still have another topic coming up. Stay with us.